Okay, what we want to do now is talk a little bit about image size and resolution. So to do that, I'm going to go to the image menu, down to image size. Once this window opens up, Photoshop's describing the image to me and telling me how it's seeing it. So at the moment, it's seeing it as a 28-inch wide by 21-inch high at 72 dots per inch. And that's pretty typical when a file comes straight in from a digital camera. It's usually going to be described at 72 dots per inch at some massive size. So what we want to do is bring that down to a more reasonable size for that we're going to want to print the image at. So for width, I'm going to put in 9, which gives me a 6 3/4 inch height and brings my resolution way up. Because what Photoshop's doing is it's compacting that file down into a smaller, tighter resolution file. So I haven't thrown any information away and I haven't added any information. And that's normally what we want to do. Now, Photoshop does have the capability of changing this file to something that has a higher resolution or a lower resolution and a bigger or smaller size. But the problem with that is, if I turn this resample checkbox on, and now let's say, oh, I want to make this 40 inches wide by 30 inches high, and I want to keep that high resolution that I have. Well, that's all fine and dandy, and Photoshop says no problem, I can do that for you. But the problem is that Photoshop's going to then have to invent pixels. It's going to have to make them up. And the way it's going to do that is basically by taking a pixel that's there and dividing it into multiples. And that's not real good, so you're not going to gain anything in quality. In fact, you're going to lose quality by doing that. And the same thing's true if we resample in the other direction and we throw information away. So if I took this down to say, oh, I don't know, a 4x5, excuse me, by resampling, well, now I'm throwing information away, and that's still not great, but it's better than trying to have Photoshop invent the information. So most of the time you don't want this resample checked on. You just want to resize your image and allow the resolution to fall where it may. To print, any resolution over 200 is good for printing. If you're going to print the image, you really don't want to fall below that 200, then you can start to see pixels. Okay, then say OK, and your file's been redescribed.